Welcome back to my channel where I take a look at your credit reports and I give you real raw credit advice and sometimes a little bit of a reality check, and I'll let you know exactly what your credit future looks like. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are about the video. My name is Jay Woodfin and this is the Credit Audit. Okay, so we got some personal identifier information that needs to be cleaned up here. Let's see here. And then, the balances, man. What's going on? What's going on with these balances, Edward? Are we paying these off every month, or what's happening here?
No, I'm not doing that.
What's the strategy?
Well, every time I try to make a payment more than the minimum amount by a substantial amount. However, every time I do that, something pops up. I've got to use my credit card, and
Okay, so let's back up.
I'm basically I procrastinate a lot.
Okay.
I'm a retired 100% disabled veteran, and I'm an officer, retired officer in the Marine Corps, and I was injured 30 some years ago, and I've got some serious medical problems, and it just takes a lot out of me, and just not.
It's not being handled through the VA, or is that not a part of the?
No, I'm not. I have 100% disability through the VA. Yeah.
Okay.
In the military.
So we got to have a tough conversation. We got to have a real tough conversation because you have some accounts here that are out of control. These Navy Federal accounts, Edward, this is looking more like a bankruptcy situation than it is a credit situation. We can't have a credit discussion. We cannot have a credit discussion because your credit is not repairable because of the amounts that you owe. Am I not seeing this properly?
No, you're seeing it right.
Okay. We have almost 25 grand plus another 20. So we got about $40,000 owed to Navy Federal alone in a closed account. So when you're looking at an account like that, right, you're not receiving any of the benefits of the account and you're receiving all of the negatives. This account is driving your utilization through the roof, right? Your utilization rate, which is the next biggest chunk of your credit score, at 30%. You can't have utilization over 9% and receive positive benefit from that score attribute. You're off the charts.
They're 5 years old, basically. So another
It don't matter. It doesn't matter. You owe $45,000.
Right.
That debt is not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. They can collect on that. My question to you.
If you look at their
My question.
funding.
Yeah. My question to you is: have they sued you yet?
No, it's too late.
Are you're 100% that they have not put paperwork on you? You've
Right.
checked your Pacer.gov account.
No, but I called them.
You called who?
Navy Federal Credit Union, and tried to settle with them.
Why? Can you pay them?
At the time I called them, I could.
Okay.
Several years ago. But
no more contact. First of all, no more contact. That's very dangerous. No more contact.
If you look, they did. One of them I guess they sold it off to someone who would try to collect it.
This is my question to you. I need you to check Pacer.gov to see if there's a docket out on you that you don't know about. It is very possible that you've been sued and they just either can't find you or you maybe threw it away. It's very possible.
Okay.
So I don't know how it works if they can attach themselves to your disability. I don't think they can.
No.
But this is not this credit situation. We're going back to the credit conversation, right? You can't bypass this. If they sold it to a collector, when did they sell it?
Let me see here.
Because if they sold it to a collection company, it should not still be being represented as a debt on your credit report. So that is something that you can use, should that be the case. The collection company would then have the responsibility to collect this debt. You would owe them the money now.
I went through that one time with someone who came in. They sued me. I guess they sold it off to a credit debtor, and I went to the justice of the peace, and I won. They didn't have the right information, the correct information. They had no receipt. They couldn't prove the
Good, man.
loan.
That's exactly what you should have done. So
But
we can't have
they
a
never
credit
filed a lawsuit
conversation.
against me though, Navy Federal Credit Union. So I can only do it against the ones who in LVN funding. They haven't filed anything yet either.
Okay. I'm gonna open this account up here. So they're reporting the last activity on this. Just looking at some of the remarks that they've left on the account here. Let me take a look at this. So they did charge the account off.
Yeah, 3 of them. Then the fourth one, they sent it over. I guess they sold it.
What state do you live in, Edward? Hold on, let me look at
Pennsylvania.
You're in Pennsylvania. Let me take a look at your statute of limitations here. You have not made any payments on this debt whatsoever, have you? None.
Nope.
When was the last payment you ever made?
For the Navy Federal, that was back in 2017.
Okay.
18 maybe.
Yeah, it's showing 2018 on.
When they first thought, well, that's when I guess when they charged it off. But I guess when 30, 60, 90 was back.
Right. I'm checking that out. So 30. So it looks like it went delinquent in April of 2018. So you would be past the collection status on this debt. Now, you're not past the reporting, though. You're not past the reporting status. You do know that the reporting can go up to 7 years plus 180 days, right?
If I went bankrupt, it would be another 7 years. Plus, I tried that years ago, and I made too much money. They wouldn't do it.
Right. So the thing with this situation is this is a waiting game for you now.
Yeah.
So you can't really lose the money, but you also can't address it now because then you would reactivate the debt. So you're kind of in purgatory here. Okay.
Right.
You can't use your credit right now. This is not a conversation that we can even have. The best thing that I can tell you, man, is don't do anything. You can't be sued. It doesn't appear that you can be sued by any of this stuff that's on here, and it's a massive amount. But you can't be sued by it. So you're kind of just chilling, for lack of a better word. You do not address this. I
talked to an attorney about it, and he told me they were foolish enough to give a disabled veteran in my condition that much money.
This is true. They did not assess this properly. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what the underwriting situation was here, but not only were they foolish to give you the amount of credit, but they did not pay attention to the spending versus paying habit, and they just let it go. They just let it continue. Typically, when you run up against this with a Chase or an American Express, they won't let you leak out this kind of buildup of debt. They'll recognize, okay, he's spending, and he's paying minimums. We got to stop this. They'll put a stop to it. They just let this thing go, and so that's their problem.
Right.
I'm assuming the same thing here with USAA.
Yeah.
Similar situation.
I was having some serious problems back then. And
it looks like everything kind of came crashing down at the same time, man.
I was doing well before that. I had some personal problems. And, I finally cleaned it up. I just don't have I had some money back then, like $54,000 in my account to take care of everything, but to try to settle.
If you can be patient, Edward, this is going to all work out in your favor. But please don't do anything. Please don't do anything in regards to this debt. In regards to utilizing your credit, that's just not going to happen anywhere within the next 3.5 years. It's just, this is going to be visible for the next 3.5 years. Once it drops off, you are going to see an insane increase in your credit score.
What can I do in the meantime? Just pay down my credit cards I do have?
Pay down your credit cards and never miss another payment again.
I haven't in a while, a long time, years.
Yeah. No matter what, man. I mean, set your stuff up on auto pay for at the very least the minimums. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So this way, the little $40 or $100, whatever the monthly minimum is, if something happens to you, it gets drawn out of your thing because you get automatic money from the government. So we know that there is a base amount of money that they can at least pull from to keep these lates from ever happening again.
Right.
If you never have another late payment, you are far enough out from your last late payment that once these charge-offs fall off, you're going to be 750, 800 credit scores, man.
That's good.
Pay down your debt. Never miss another late payment. And don't address any of the old zombie debt that you have. Those are the things that I can tell you.
Right. One other
And
thing
you
is, with my, I
be
don't want to cut you
perfectly
off,
fine.
but I didn't want to cut you off, but one other thing is with but Mr. Cooper. I have what they for my worst company.
Yeah.
They're not. I was on that program they had for COVID-19. They put you on. My wife lost her job and got really sick from COVID, and she hasn't even started working yet. She was a nurse, and they put us in a program where they put us in a deferment, and then they says the deferment's up, we get to start paid back. And so I set up a program for me to pay it back. So I can they'll put the money into a junior lien with the VA,
Yeah.
and then extend my loan out another 4 years. But they're going to raise my interest rates from 2.75 to 7.5. I said, well, I'm not going to do that. I said, you can't raise the interest rate. That's part of the that act, or I can't remember the name of the act that was under. But I said, how can you raise the interest rate? There's nowhere it says you can raise the interest rate. He said, well, there's nowhere saying we can't. And so I didn't accept it. So I paid him the $54,000 I owed him, and but they shouldn't have reflected my credit report. But it looks on my credit report. One of the I think Equifax, it shows that it's zero, no payments, fine. But
Yeah.
and the other ones are messed up. I keep on calling them to correct it, and they never do.
Yeah. You were in deferment during this period?
Yes, and they
I
can't
would
do nothing.
contact I would contact an attorney immediately.
Yeah,
Immediately, because this is detrimental to the credit file. Now the question will become, what damage is it causing you? See, I want to bring a real element of how this really works from a legal side, right? You can beg them all you want to. And if they never correct it, what's your recourse? This is what I want to get to, right? If they never fix it, what's your recourse? If it's not harming you, if it's not stopping you from procuring credit, if it's not stopping you from, getting the things done that you want to get done from a lending standpoint, then why are you worried about it is going to become the question.
how much is it hurting me? If I get that corrected, would it raise it up significantly or what? I don't know.
No, because you got charge-offs and other lates and stuff all over the credit report. So this is, if I put 1,000-pound weight on your chest and you're like, it's killing me, and I like, cool, I'll take 50 pounds off. Does it feel better? You're going to be like, no, I still got 950 pounds on my chest. That's what's happening with your credit report right now.
Right.
You got 1,000-pound weight on your credit report right now, weighing it down. Getting those 2 late payments off is like taking 20 pounds off. You're still being crushed. It won't move it at all. So my question to you right now is, what are you worried about? By the time that 3.5 years goes by, right? These lates will be almost 6 years old. They'll be irrelevant. They won't even be visible to almost anybody who's looking to lend you money anyway, should you be wanting to do that.
I got you.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's things that you worry about and there's things that you don't. You don't need credit repair. You need patience.
Yeah. That's what my son said. He's down here next to me.
Yeah. You don't need credit repair. You need patience, man. I wouldn't put you in any of my programs. I think it would be a mistake. You need to chill out.
Okay.
Your son is right.
You want to say hello, Christian? What? You want to say hello to Jay?
What's up, man?
Not much.
Take care of your pops, man. Keep giving them good advice. Keep giving them good advice, man. Listen to your son, man. You just chill out.
Well, I appreciate it, Jay.
No problem, man. Any other questions that you have for me?
No, sir.
You sure? We got a little bit of time left.
There's a couple of things like if I
Can I insert something real quick? Sure. If you don't have anything pertinent that you want to ask me, do you have a budget?
We have a budget, buddy.
You do not have a budget.
Not really, no.
I know you don't. I'm looking at your credit report. I asked it. It was rhetorical. Yeah, I know you don't. You and your son. Does your son live with you, or do you live with him? What's happening?
He's because of my disability. My wife, how she's doing. He graduated from college and has several degrees, but he wanted to go to law school. But he's holding it off until we get
okay.
We get a little bit physically better there.
I think your son might be better with this than you will be. I want you and him to sit down. I want you to go over your expenses. I want you to go over your income every dime. You need to create a budget that will allow you to pay down this debt. Because, Edward, the one thing that I'm afraid is going to happen with you is that this debt is going to continue to grow. And that will make this entire conversation null and void.
I make a good income. I make more now than when I actually work.
Then you have zero excuses.
Yeah, no, zero excuses. I mean, I would make well over $150,000.
Yeah. So the thing about having good credit, even though you're in a bad credit situation right now, the thing about having good credit is becoming far more intentional about how you handle your credit.
Gotcha.
There is nothing in this world that you can grow or nurture without paying attention to it. Credit is no different. You need to become far more intentional. Okay? You need to sit down. You only got a few little cards out here that you're dealing with,
Yeah.
You got this. I mean, you're carrying a $370 balance on this CBNA card out of $650. Why? That's reckless.
Does it hurt you that much?
Yes, man. You cannot have a single card reporting over 9% utilization rate. Reporting. You can use it all you want to,
Yeah.
but you got to make sure that you have a system where you're paying this down as far as you can. Hell, pay it off before the statement date. You got to sit down and find out what the statement closing dates are on each one of these accounts. You need to sit down and make a budget and make a calendar to pay these things at a certain time frame. You can't just sit down and pay bills anymore. It don't work like that. When you came up, it was, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna pay my bills for the month, right? Like I'm gonna put my bills out, I'm gonna pay my bills. It doesn't work that way in credit. In credit, timing is everything. I want you to write. Do you have a pen and paper?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some instructions. Because I want you to leave this call much better than you came in. Okay? I want to make it worth it for you. So I want you to call each one of these creditors or look at your billing statements, whichever one you can do, and find out your closing statement date for every single one of these accounts. So this SYWMC, I don't know what that is, the CBNA account, it's about $650 credit limit.
Yeah.
Call them or look at your billing statement, find out when your closing statement date is.
Yeah.
I want you to put this card on auto pay for the due date.
They're all on auto pay. Everything I have is on auto pay.
Perfect.
I just raise it up, I guess, and I pay it off.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And then Capital One, do the same thing, the closing statement date. Your utilization is currently reporting at 67%. This means that even if you have already paid it down to zero, it's doing you no good. Because the only thing that matters with the credit scores that you see is what the bureaus know to report. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So if the bureaus get the information, they're going to use it against you. Don't give them the information. How you don't give them the information is you pay off your debt before the creditor sends the information to the bureaus.
That's
You do that by
closing date, right?
You do that by paying everything down before the closing statement date. I typically pay everything down about 3 days, 2-3 days before the closing statement date.
3 days.
And then I try not to use the credit again until the reporting date.
Right.
So this is the second thing, right? The reporting date. I can see here that Capital One sent this information to the bureaus on August 10th.
Okay.
So your closing statement date is somewhere probably between August 5th and August 10th.
Okay. The closing date was what again? August, you said?
The closing, the reporting date, the date that Capital One sent their information to the bureaus is August 10th. They sent everything electronically, August 10th.
And the pay down date was?
The pay down date you will find out from Capital One.
Okay.
This closing statement date is what you need to find out from Capital One. The reporting date is when they send the information. So the closing statement date, they go, all right, we're cool. We're done with you for the month. We're going to take this information, whatever we have, we're going to send this to the bureaus whenever we send it.
Right.
The reporting date is when they actually send it.
Okay.
So think of it like this. If I bought you a present for your birthday, 5 days before your birthday, I wrap it up, boom, everything is set, right? Boom, it's set aside.
Hmm.
When I see Edward, I'm going to give him this gift. That's the way they work, right? On that closing statement date, everything's wrapped up in a bow, set aside. On that reporting date, they give that gift to the credit bureaus. The credit bureaus unwrap that package and they go, oh, Edward's tripping again. Edward's tripping again. He didn't pay it. And then they use that to generate your credit score.
So if you pay it before the pay down date, when you do it, the reporting date will show it as being down.
If you pay it down before the statement closing date, there will be nothing inside that package when they unwrap it. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
All right. So those are the things I need you to do. Figure that out and then sit down, man, and create a budget. Are you saving money? Are you saving anything?
I save about $2,000 a month.
So you should have substantial savings
Yeah.
right now. Pay this stuff off, man. Pay it all off. Pay it all off.
That's my
please.
emergency funds, though.
It's just listen. Look, listen. Let's take a look at this again.
Right.
Let's take a look at what we're working with. All right. Let's talk about what you're losing, because I don't think you understand what you're losing by not paying it off. You need to look at your annual percentage rate, your APR. That $4,000 that you're holding is costing you money every month.
A lot of money.
For no reason. So while you're saving on this side, you're giving away part of the money you should be saving for no reason.
And I know all this probably,
You do know it.
but
You do know it. I know you know it.
I just got to get myself out of my funk, and be like I used to be, and I was, before my injury.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got three beautiful accounts in good standing, but they're holding you hostage for no reason. And you're talking about your emergency fund, Edward, and it's less than $5,000. It's less than $5,000 to wipe it all away and start building better habits.
Just as I don't build it back up again, right?
As long as you don't build it back up again, and you won't if you do what I say. Pay everything off every month. Because by the way, whatever you think that you're saving in your savings account, it ain't all yours anyway, because almost $5,000 of it belongs to Capital One and CBNA.
Yeah.
You have to look at credit like that. That's not your money. Give them their money so you can start really truly saving 100% of what you're saving.
I don't know if you have stocks there, but they're down. You wouldn't want to sell those to pay it.
No, don't sell your stocks, but do you have savings? How much savings do you have, Edward? Just tell me the truth.
What do we have, buddy?
Over 5.5.
Over 5,500.
Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to take 700, whatever this is, it's right at $700, looks like. Knock out that baby Capital One. Knock out that CBNA card. And then I want you to dedicate every month $1,500 to that other Capital One card.
Right. Yeah, I have. Like I said, I bring home like a little over 12,000 a month in the net.
You
And
are
I have
blowing.
$8,000. I have $8,000 in bills. So the other $4,000, that my grocery has everything. So the other $4,000 is total, whatever I want to use it for. So I don't understand. I can't save because I guess we go out and splurge.
You know why you don't understand? It's because you're not intentional. You're not paying attention. If I promise you, when you and your son sit down and you go through, and here's what I do with my wife. We open up our Chase account and we go line by line. What are we buying? What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh my God, we spent $4,000 on food this month. What? You don't know it when you're doing it. But when you go back and review, you will be astonished at how much money you're throwing away every month. You're just not paying attention.
Right.
I don't care who you are. Right. If your eyes are closed, you will not see something that's right in front of your face.
I agree with you. Yep.
Your eyes are closed to your finances and your credit.
I got you. I just gotta wake up.
Just wake up, man. Just wake up. Sit down with your son. Go over your expenditures. Go over your income. Mm-hmm. Figure out where the waste is at. There's a lot of waste.
Yes.
Plug up the hole. Become more intentional about paying down your debt. Get rid of all of the little debt that you have, man. It's only $5,000. You can do this in 3 months and be comfortable.
I'll do that. I'll try to do that.
Don't try, man. Do it.
Okay.
Put it on paper and then do it.
Okay, we'll do that, right, buddy? Your help.
Cool. Cool. That's really it for you, man. This is really a simple case.
Right.
Sit back and wait for the other stuff to fall off. Become more intentional about the stuff that you still have that's active. And in 3 years, 3.5 years, man, you'll be in a golden position credit-wise. And you'll have a ton of money saved up.
Well, I appreciate the information, Jay.
Yeah, man.
That's all we got to do.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. Any other questions?
No, that's it, Jay.
Do you have anything about like how they have our names mixed up?
Well, they have our names mixed up in his report.
Yeah,
they have
I saw that.
His
I saw that. You guys, you can do a personal information cleanup. I would call the credit bureaus and just let them know, hey, we got some mix-ups going on here on my credit file. I need to have this taken off, this taken off, this taken off.
Okay.
And they should be able to do it for you.
Yeah. I should do it then.
Yeah. Yep. And then also do that with LexisNexis and Innovis. Okay, write that down. LexisNexis and Innovis needs to be addressed to because they send the information to the credit bureaus. So if you happen to get it off the credit bureaus and LexisNexis and Innovis still have it.
Innovis, you call it. How do you spell that then?
INNOVIS.
Okay.
Do the same thing with them, man.
Okay, we'll do that. Appreciate it.
You'll have to probably do it a couple times, but stick with it.
My son's a bulldog. We'll do that.
Good, man. Good. If you need a template to send a letter in to address it, I will gladly send you a personal information template.
How can we do that?
I'll just email it over to you.
Okay.
And then you'll plug in your information. Hey, my name is it LePay?
Yes, LePay. Right. Exactly.
My name is Edward Frank LePay.
Right.
It's the only name I have, blah, 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 blah. Please remove all other names from my credit report, blah, blah, blah. It's very simple.
Okay.
And you send this thing in once a month. Just send it in over and over to each bureau. It ain't going to cost you much. It'll cost you a stamp. If you
I look at your videos, so they're very informative.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.